Hey guys, Lumen02, currently getting ready to play in the 100-card Singleton event, CSM, and I'm going to be playing with Azorius Miracles today. My first round opponent, Ironic Gentleman, is a habitual Reanimator player, so I assume that's probably what we're playing against. I'd love to play first. Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is a mulligan. One island, this would be a great hand, but I'm not going to bank on that. Alright, this hand's perfect. I couldn't ask for... I mean, on a mull to 6, you're not going to get better than this. My opponent's probably playing a decent amount of counter magic. Hey, you too, man. It's a keeper. Yeah, I'll put that on top. I mean, this is a control match, I think is how you have to look at it. Now, he could just be on, like, red deck wins aggro, and, like, this is a horrible keep, but we'll find out. I was BSing with him before. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be on the same gig. Yeah, it looks like he is. Okay, Serum of Visions. Well, I think I'm just going to do this. Yeah, it kind of does show that I probably don't have counter magic, but I would like to pop it next turn on their turn. Could get stifled too. Nothing. Cool. That's kind of what I figured. I figured this is the best time to be doing this. Just lead on this little fellow right here. Probably get a Tundra with it. Okay. Well, we're going to hit a stifle. I'm going to pop this. If they have a stifle, I'd rather get this stifled than my big one. Going for Tundra here. Although, you know, there is some argument against that because it does take me off. Oh, I guess that's a stupid thing. It takes me off black mana, Herb Organ play. So I'm perfectly set up on white. Okie doke. Well, the downside to this hand is it doesn't really have a lot going on. I'm not going to jam into open mana here. I'm down on cards. I kind of like to do it. So if they have to counter my Ancestral, then I can possibly resolve the Chase. Question is, do they fight over this? Probably. Okay. Drawing a few too many lands. You're going to save the fetch, try to find an opportunity to get this Jace down. My guess is we're probably not going to find a good time to do it. They had 2 blue up there, so I think it'd be kind of silly to try to go for anything on that turn. Alright, Caracas, and go. And we at minimum have a cycle land, which is not bad. We are down significantly on cards here. And we will cycle this off. Cycle it. Okay, more land. Well, not drawing significantly well this game. That's not a bad one, though. Yep, they're going to let me do this. Search for Iskanta. Pretty easy, I think. So now the big question is this. So this thing comes off stack next turn. think I attempt this, because I can still double cast the Gideon and the Jace next turn. They're going to probably want to counter this, which I think I'm fine with. It's pretty much like, go ahead. Okay. They use the least efficient counterspell likely in their hand, which makes sense here. Although I possibly could have gone for a follow-up there. Now if we don't get him, if we get him, that's just brutal. Alright, Ancestral Vision's fine. Because what I'm looking to do is get this Gideon countered after my Ancestral Visions gets countered. You know, they also have a lot of, like, Wrath effects in their deck, so it's possible they have a sizable number of dead cards. Like I said, I'm not feeling great here. If this resolves, I feel really good. Okay. Well, I actually don't mind Cryptic Command getting cast on my a remand on this. Okay. Well, we're going to eat up more of their manas. Okay. I think we do play the land first. Try to land this. And I assume it gets countered. Mana drain would be probably the worst. Okay, fetching. So we're going to counter this. Okay. In an opt. Interesting. This is the one advantage to just having crap tons of mana. Is that you can beat your opponent with onboard, like just onboard mana advantage. Yeah, okay. Spell Pierce is a risk here. For the Jace, the follow-on. Now I'm not too frightened about getting the Gideon countered. Well, do you have Spell Pierce? No. Well, we're going to draw because I still have a fetch in, and I have a fetch in my hand. This is bad. I think we can get rid of this. I think I just fetch here. And I think I've already played my land drop for the turn. Yes, I have. So, nope. I'm going to just go with the tapped land there and say go. And hopefully my opponent doesn't combo kill me out. They have an awful lot of cards. But if I get an untap here and I'm not dead, I feel pretty good because, I mean, I'm going to force them to counter the Treasure Cruise, I think. Could also attack with the Gideon to see if they want to try to kill it. Possibly some point removal. Okay, dig through time's very good. Again, just an untap. The Snapperoo does have to attack my Gideon here. Well, did you find the way to kill me? Okay, Brainstorm is fine. That's more mana tapping. Like I said, I'm just looking for an untap, and then I'm hoping to get into enough cards that my mana capacity can beat their raw cards. We may or may not get there. We're going to see. I mean, this hand drew a lot of lands. I mean, you guys saw it. I mean, we just topped a lot of lands. And that's generally not great. Alright, do they have the Reanimate on the Buried Alive Ooze to win? If they do, that's game over. Alright, well, they're going to find it. So it's on top of their deck. But they have to draw it right now, because Jace kind of gets rid of that, right? So I assume they have a draw card, but then they're probably not doing it this turn at a minimum, which means I can possibly draw into some disruption. I mean, heck, by this point, they could almost hardcast a Gristlebrand, and I wouldn't be able to do much about it. Alright, on top. Alright. Well, interesting, so... Well, that was a sizable misplay on their part. Yep, I'm going to look at your top card and put this thing on the bottom. Yep. And, I mean, is there any point in keeping lands in hand? Don't have Crucible in the main deck, so... Attempt to resolve this. Condescend should be able to protect me unless they have, like, a couple counter spells. Yeah, that's a good one. And do it for 3. Alright, come on, Moto, catch up. Okay. Ooh, got there. Alright, sweet. So, I did not think we were getting there. The Personal Tutor was a huge misplay on their part. If they couldn't draw into it that turn, they did not want to cast Personal Tutor. They wanted to wait until they could get that off and like Ataxian Probe or like Thirst for Knowledge into it. But that's a very hard card for me to beat because my Graveyard Disruption package is nominal. Now, luckily, I do have some sideboard. I've got, this Relic of Progenitus, which is likely going to come in. I think Karn's actually not bad in this matchup because I think cards like Moat and Wrath of God are just really bad. Back to Basics, probably not good enough. He was ahead. I think he was ahead in that game. I did not feel comfortable in that one right there. Disenchant's interesting because it gets like their Search for His Kantas, maybe... Yeah. So bizarre game. Interesting game there. What don't I like? Yeah, Supreme Verdict is probably also pretty bad in this matchup. Like I said, I do like Disenchant. What else do I cut for that? Is Terminus even useful in this? Probably not. Probably don't even need removal. Like, because by the time he gets his creature, like, unless he, like, summons a Gristlebrand. But, I mean, if you're Wrath of Godding over a Gristlebrand, you're already screwed. Like, right? Yeah, I think this is correct. Crucible is also interesting, but he runs enough non-basics that, like, I don't think I need to draw or, like, just rip value that way. Although, you know what? Actually, take on Vidalcan Shackle. Vidalcan Shackle is also kind of bad. I'm just going to play Crucible. It's better than Vidalcan Shackle's little grimy value, I think. And it's within my deck of lands, which, as you saw, was a little bit to our detriment in the early to mid-game there, but we managed to find a line where, we were able to punish his lack of land drops, vice our well, this hand is actually more interesting than you might think. The bluff value alone on it's so high. I'm going to see what happens. No one ever called me not a gambling man. This ain't a coward's video. I got one really good card against him. Nope. Go ahead, do your thing, man. I mean, you gonna him me? Could duress me here or something like that. Nah, he wouldn't get 2 mana for that, though. He's gonna play out a Jace. That sucks. Yep. That sucks. Well, always a long game. Okay. I do have ways of dealing with Jace, too. I mean, I still have the O-rings and stuff like that that I think are just more flexible removal than the Wrath of God effects. Yeah, that's a bad card. Do I cycle the Miscalc here? I don't think I do yet. That was a very solid pickup. What I like about that is it's going to allow me to find Crucible and start ripping some value that way. Just getting lands out of my deck with this Scalding Tarn. Yeah, okay. You can see my hand. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could also just get an answer to the Jace. That's an option here. But what does the Jace really do for me? He can throw back some cantrips. He can try to mill me. But I think I can win before that. Okay. Soul Manipulation, also not a good card against me. Yeah, I mean that's going to get countered. That's for sure. Unless he has days, it's all going to resolve. Now I think I do need to deal with this thing. And if he has days still, we're in some trouble, but I think we just get the... well, Explosives is interesting too, but yeah, Oblivion Ring. And just say, hey, have fun on your turn. And if you have a Jace the Mind Sculptor, well, you own us. And it's a very good possibility on 4 cards he does. Yep. But I can't give him, Hymn to Turek, and, Hymn to Turek really is the one that I can't give him back. I just don't have enough cards in hand to allow a Hymn to resolve. And it would there, because I can't make the assumption he's not going to draw land to protect against Miscalc. But he's kind of missed on land, so I have to hope his hand is all gas, and I'm going to again do the same thing I did before and just kind of beat him on mana efficiency. As much as I would love to get Crucible, giving him Recursion on even Peak is a free card. Okay, Merchant Scroll. Pourquoi? It's not finding lands here, I wouldn't think, because he can't tap for blue mana to Ponder or Preordain. Could just get, I'd probably get, this is instant card, but he can't cast Dig Through Time yet, which would be the go-to, I think. So he gets Dig Through Time, and he knows I have Miscalc. Impulse, okay. Well, I'll probably Miscalc an Impulse, I think, because if he's getting Impulse with Merchant Scroll, that means his hand is not good. Save the fetch for a Brainstorm or a Jace. I'll drain here because I'm going to lose it anyways. I feel like that was a pretty good rip, though, unless he held on to it so he could protect his impulse. Yep, I'll go down to one card, and you can duress my one land, or you can't duress my one land, and I'll just get a mana off of it. Okay, and go. Okay, impulse for something. Possibly just land. I mean, it just depends on what his hand is. He really needs another blue source. Okay. I think the chances... I mean, I would love to draw 3 on this thing, but I think the chances of it getting countered here are pretty high. So I'm going to wait. And hopefully he tries to go through like a... Oh, okay, he drew another land. That's good for him. But we're not in a horrendous spot. I think we just keep on rocking lands out there. I know we have the fetch and we have Jace and Brainstorm in the deck, but I do think that this is enough of a control battle that I really do want to hit my lands here. He was debating on going for a Mystic Confluence. I think if he did, that would be a huge beating in our favor. All right, hitting lands now. Okay, can muddle for something. Now, if he casts like a Demonic Tutor here, I'm going to feel pretty happy, because I'll just snap off this Mystical, counter the Demonic. Yep. Okay. Okay. Why would you do this right here? You can have this back. I'll save the Oblivion Ring for something better. Okay. Okay. Can have your Jace back again. I mean, do we go for it here? I think we give it a shot. Do you have negate or something else along those lines? So at least gives us another draw step. If he doesn't, this is a huge time beating. If you have anything, you have to try to counter this. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah, if it resolves, it's a big-time beating. If it does not, well, I feel pretty good. I don't know about that, man. Like, I think it's a harder game, but like my draws have not been spectacular. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Mana Screw in this matchup does suck. I mean, I run 40 lands. I probably run more than him. I could probably tell you in a second if I want to look at his deck list. Okay, he already left. All right, guys, quick pause. And all right, guys, back. We're going to watch this last game that's still ongoing. I think most of the rest have finished up by this point. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, they have. So, Red Deck wins versus Azorius. Or, actually, Esper. Correction, Esper. Okay, Booze wins that one, but it looks like they're going to a Game 3. Yeah, going to a Game 3. Actually, this looks like my Miracles list. Very similar to the one I'm playing now. I think probably with the exception of some Demonic Tutor love in the main deck. Maybe he's got it in there now. But it looks like a pretty similar version of my blue-white Miracles list. Just looking at, this board state and looking at the cards, I don't see any that are not in the list that I ran probably, like... I started running more, like, probably 4 or 5 months ago, just due to the fact that there was a lot of aggressive white decks in the format. And it ended up being pretty good. Yeah. Okay, well, is this game over? No, they're still at it. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know, man. Everyone has their days. I mean, I consider myself, like, I don't think that's a horrendous matchup for Esper, but I also don't think my deck was doing me a ton of favors. Yeah, I had some good ones, but I mean, the deck's got a lot of good ones, and that first game was just like land. You know, it's like, all right, well, we're probably going to need to draw a spell at some point, deck, please. Yeah. All right, so this one's back up. Yeah, the strong cost or whatever that is out of date. Cool. A lot of queen sweeps today, just looking at, come on. Yeah, so this is a 2-0 versus Sung. That's how Rob reported it. It's just still Bandit. So, no 2-1 results. It's unfortunate. Alright, turn 1, 2-2. Oof. You gotta... Oh, there you go. So Sparksmith is not a good card in this matchup, but you still want to counter it for tempo. He did technically cast it. Did not resolve it, but he did cast one, so this card's cool like that. If you attempt to cast something, it still can attack. Obviously, you can get to a point where it just gets stuck. You're resolving a 2-drop here. I would presume search for his context. I don't think you want to land Jace right now. Oh, okay. Yep, that's from the sideboard. I think I've since taken that out, but it is a very good card against red deck wins. It also probably is telling that he does not have 2-mana counter magic besides you. That card's actually probably really good in this matchup. Shatter? That is not a card that sees a lot of play in this format. Despite being the bad art Shatter, it's still pretty sick. Wow, yeah. Pretty cool. I don't think Shatter's the best card for red deck wins, but it's an effect the deck wants, but I think you either want to staple it to a creature like Manic Vandal, or use a Shatter effect that also does damage. But not doing anything here is actually really bad for Bandit. He really needs to put the screws to his opponent, who is, not getting hit and developing in their mana situation on more cards in a deck that can draw a lot more cards. JTMS, yep. As soon as he went to second main, considering that, if you don't want to tap out or not, I was pretty sure he was going for a JTMS. He wants to top either his deck or his opponent's deck here. That part I couldn't tell you because it just depends on what he's holding. This Jace could still die. I mean, all Bandit's got to do, although it seems unlikely that he has a creature in hand, well, one of two things are going to happen. Like, he's going to bottom any creature, right? And the other problem you run into is if he just is waiting on a land drop, he may have lands in hand, he may have like a 5-drop. I'm trying to think of a 5-drop that really is relevant, though. Like, maybe there's not. Like, if you have 4, you can cast any creature in your deck, or you should generally be able to. Like, Blistering Firecat's castable. Like, most of them are good to go there. And if this Jace gets to survive with an untap, I think the game is likely to end. Yeah, that's game. That's game. He's got a shuffle effect and a Jace. Price of Progress is getting kind of savage here, though. So you draw, you have the onboard shuffle effect that you can use on your opponent's turn while still leaving up 2 blue mana after brainstorming with Jace. Yeah, I don't think there are a lot of mounts. I know there's just tons of sideboard hate in this deck because I built it against red deck wins because it's actually a very bad matchup. My guess is he lost the first game, won the second that we just saw right there, and is looking like he's pretty well on his way to win this one against red deck wins. Although besides you could be a showstopper. We'll see. I mean, it's just he needs to do a lot of damage with spells in order to have besides you matter here. I think you go for the shuffle effect. No, he's an Enlightened Tutor. Pourquoi? Vidalcan? No. He's just going to get Sphere of Law. Sphere of Law locks his opponent out of this game. It does not safeguard his Planeswalker, but he can just start topping every turn. That's probably good enough. But Sphere of Law is pretty much a good game. Like, there's outside of Anarchy, yeah, there you go. Outside of Anarchy, like, you're not beating that card. Like, you're just done. Sphere of Law, Enlightened Tutor, also a shuffle effect, for those of you that were not aware. Yeah. I think you brainstorm and or top bottom with Jace first before you cast the Sphere of Law, but I don't think it'll make that much difference here. We may get a concession here. What does he have here? Is he going to cast like a Price of Progress to kill the Jace? I mean, if you can kill the Jace here, you probably do. Flame Burst, okay. Hitting him, okay. I think I like getting rid of, I don't know, maybe the J, maybe not. So you're going to go to Hellbent here to get your opponent, like, medium low. He's going to counter this. Memory lapses it. Yikes. Yeah, throwing a bolt to do 1 damage in a player is horrible. Yeah, and he can draw 3 here because he already memory lapsed. Yeah, I love this deck. I mean, we're basically playing the same deck, Booze and myself. I think this is an older edition of my build. I'd have to go look at his rendition of it, but it just looks shockingly familiar. Like, when he has Sphere of Law on the sideboard, which is a card no one else plays in the sideboard, and like I really only did because I was like, what does this deck lose to? In a mostly white weenie meta, and I was like, probably red deck wins. So, like, just direct damage can overwhelm it very rapidly, and if you can set this thing up in the mid to late game, it generally is a hard lock. Like, he could throw a bolt now to try to harm this Jace, but it's not really doing much. Yep. He could probably kill the Jace here. His opponent's up to 3 cards, and he's doing no damage to him, so... Alright, Brimstone, yep. And now you're resigned to a position where, like, really none of your cards do damage unless you have, like, what would it take here? It would take, like, Everlasting Torment or, like, Flaring Pain on, like, a very potent turn. Could just get back the Spellskite with the Academy runes as well. Not that Spellskite does really much of anything. I mean, I guess if you can find... No, this deck doesn't have a sword. It has a Batterskull in it. I actually took Batterskull out of the one I'm playing now. I just didn't figure there'd be a lot of red deck wins decks running around. As it looks, there's probably 2 today. I don't know if I'm the better player, man. I don't know about that. I'm okay. I do okay, but... Yeah, more hate. That's another hate card from the board of this deck. Losing the Jace does kind of slow him down. I mean... But on 3 cards, like... He'll eventually find a way. The problem's going to be his opponent's going to be building up just burn spells after burn spells in his deck, so... Killing off Planeswalkers, which are now targetable outside of targeting the player process, is actually more difficult here, like, to keep them alive. So he probably has to do it with Angels in some way, shape, or form. Can this thing block? I think it's just attack, yeah. And a Goblin Guide. Something that never wants to attack. No, don't counter that, man. You have a Sphere of Law in play. It's free cards. Ugh. No. This is every source, man. You don't need to scry that bad. You certainly don't. This is a Blistering Firecat, which can actually do 5 damage to him if it hits. But having just a 2/2 is not bad, I mean, because it actually can do damage through the Sphere of Law. So I really did not care for that line of play to dissolve the Goblin Guy, which is just really it's advantage only for the player with Sphere of Law in play, unless you can, like, I don't know, enchant it or something like that, put an aura on it. Not that I assume this red deck's running, like, you know, Frenzied Rage or whatever that, like, new Dominaria card. It's probably actually an older card than that. Frenzied Rage is old. It's the Menace, like, +1, +2, +0 card or something like that. Goblin Arsonist, that does nothing. I mean, if you attack with the Morph, he's going to double block it with the Soldier tokens. That seems pretty deterministic. Well, he's going to have a Jace, which means he can cast back, like, Timely. Timely's not good enough yet. He wouldn't do anything, actually. He can recast Enlightened Tutor and find something probably interesting. It's weird to see Caracas with that border. God, I'm glad I have old Caracas, so I don't have that weird border. It just doesn't look natural to see it in that frame. I'm not saying the frame's horrible. I think it's fine on some cards. Just the old ones, it just looks weird to me. Also, Booz's land choices are interesting to give you a random side note that it means nothing about this game. I think he's using, like, Odyssey block planes and then, like, old school islands, like OG art islands. All right, Quicksand. There's another OG card. I think I would do that to the Morph, because the Morph can actually deal damage here. I guess you could try to mill kill him. Use the mill the mill plan. That'd be pretty funny if he did. Alright, this is a Sphinx's Rev or something like that? No, it's a Confluence. Mystic Confluence drawing 3. No? It's a mini Sphinx's Rev. I think he's... Honestly, I think that's a little bit of a cowardly play. I think I just tapped down for that thing. Like, I guess he could have Pyroblast or Elemental Blast, so you, like, leave up enough just to cast 1. So he has, like, a Dismiss or a Dissolve in hand. Well, he already cast Dissolve, so Dismiss... Not Dismiss, Dissipate... probably
possibly Complicate or Condescend. No, those other two wouldn't have done it. This is technically red as well, right? It's not a colorless creature, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a red warrior token. Or land. 2/1 for a striking card. He fetches here. I wonder why. I couldn't see him needing more mana at this position, and I think you save the fetch. I don't think you thin there, because if you hit Brainstorm, then I think you're happier with having the shuffle effect, especially on this many cards. Huh. Well, he certainly still has to find a way to win. He certainly found a way not to, or to prevent losing very well. I hope we're not going to see a Telebeth Unbound mill kill. If we do, it's actually, well, I guess it's pretty cool, but I have to imagine there are better ways to win this game, like just getting back the Sphinx's Revelation. He doesn't seem to think so. We may see a mill kill here. Yeah, Price of Progress is not doing much here either. And it won't against this deck. That's kind of one of the benefits of playing essentially a 2-color deck. 2/3-color deck, splashing black. And actually, the rendition I'm running now only runs black for Demonic Tutor, and then flashback on Mystical Teachings. I'm shocked he has not found a way to win in the top half of his deck, essentially. Like, Mystical Teachings, Mystical Tutor, probably not running Demonic Tutor. Personal Tutor, like all these cards can find very good ways to win. So he's going to try to mill him here. Well, Cycling does not, unfortunately, mill. Could just mill himself, too, because he has the Academy runes. If he's playing my real old version, then he's going to have Rest in Peace Helm combo, and if he has the Rip in hand, he could just mill himself, I think, or is this only opponent? Yeah, that does nothing. I guess it can kill the Walker. Well, the Walker is down. Could triple block it. Just chump block it. Yeah, makes sense. So I must be wrong. That morph must not be Blistering Firecax. I think you would have tried to use that there as well, just to get rid of the Jace Telepith Unbound. It's either that or like one of the ones that like exiles the top card of your deck and you can play with it until end of turn and it has Menace. I think it's a 2/3 or 2/1 base Megamorph to 3/2 for I believe 3 mana to obviously morph it, and then 2 mana to turn it face up. Still nothing. Yeah, I don't know about this. I think just recasting the Sphinx's Rev was probably right here. I mean, it puts you so far beyond range. If you don't find your combo in like 14 or 15 cards, like you maybe just pack it in there, a Browbeat. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually see a problem with letting him draw here unless we know he's running like Anarchy. Anarchy could be like a massive blowout. I don't think he's going to be very capable of resolving it, but it could be a big blowout here. Does he have Cryptic Command? No, Flash Flood, killing the land. And milling his opponent for a few cards. Well, there's the Price, so we know he never had that in hand. Even though Price right now would do just as much damage, do more damage to him than it would to his opponent. Yeah. I have actually killed with Jace Telepeth Unbound's Ultimate and 100 card before. It was a slow and painful process. And I did it more for lulz than I did because it was the right answer. Now, is this a Confluence? This feels like a Confluence. Draw 3. Yeah. Oh, return. Don't know why. I guess you get to see what it was. Oh, there is the Pyroblast. It's going to get countered. I mean, there's just too many cards in his hand, too much mana on the board. Yep, mana a leak. I once played this really weird game where I had like a Punishing Fire sideboard plan in Red Deck Wins, and my opponent had Warmth, or no, they had Core Firewalker, and like all they could do is like try to hit me with the Core Firewalker every turn, and I could recast this thing off of its own trigger. Well, I could recast it whenever I cast another spell, and I just kept on killing every single card they played until I finally drew into either the Spell Bomb or gosh, I can't think of the card right now, or Curse Scroll. And ended up winning that way, which is like a really weird win to beat a Core Firewalker with a Punishing Fire. But I actually did a number to control the board. The reason I mention that is because they are milling. I don't know if they run it in this build of it, Punishing Fire that is, but it's not horrendous against Batter Skulls. It at least allows you to start removing the soldier tokens. Well, you can just kill the other one with Quicksand if you wanted to. I mean, not that that's like per se great. Just like, okay, I lost a 1/1. Batter Skull is going to be fairly tough to beat, I would say, though. Although we do know he was running Shatter, so he possibly has. This is Shatter. That'd be hilarious. I mean, he can still bounce it to hand, though. It doesn't have a split second. Yeah, it's bounce. What? Batter Skull bounces. It's not just a 4/4. Oh no. Maybe he F6'd? That's really bad. That was really bad. I don't know why he would let that happen. It was a misclick, probably. But yeah, that was a huge misplay. Because, I mean, not that his percentage in winning this game goes down significantly, but because Fear of Law is just going to win him the game. But still, it's just like, you could have actually won the game a lot faster than milling them, unless you really want to mill them, which is a little trollish. I'm not going to say that's what he's doing, but and I'm not going to say I haven't done it. Like, I've done it just to see if I could. I mean, I guess you could do this, yeah, but you could have just bounced it back to hand for 3 mana and saved yourself the pain, right? Yeah. I guess this gives... Well, no, either one gives you a cast trigger. This just ties up 3 less mana on your next turn, so it's definitively wrong. Yeah. This card... Actually, it doesn't... Yeah, if it gets 1 hit in around Sphere, it can actually continue to grow, but it's... Even if you were to cast this thing, which is a lot of mana, but it's actually a pretty cool card. If it gets to hit. It's a little conditional, but... I think it could take over games if you can resolve it and get like 1 to 2 hits in. Alright, Firebolt. Yep. Well, that is something he can recurse from the graveyard if he'd like. Let's try to like double Jace Emblem here. That'd be pretty sweet. Yep. Just the slow grind. I mean, I think I would just let this through so I could die. Unless you have Anarchy. If you have Anarchy somewhere in your 100, your 115, and you sideboard it in, you know, I guess you keep on playing. There's just more Jace Emblem triggers. 5 more cards, down the tubes. Huh. Alright, Fire Slinger. Yeah, these poor red cards are just not going to keep up with Sphere of Law. His time to win is already come and gone. I think Boo's just casting spells to stop him. I think he has to be leery, though. Like, if he does run out of counter magic and his opponent resolves, like, an Endless Torment, that's a card that can do it. That's a card that can stop Sphere. So, I don't think it's likely that it would, even if he were to resolve it here. Like, even if he were to stack his deck, I think he'd still probably lose. But that's a matchup. You know, that's the thing with playing sideboards, too, is that, you know, you can put some savage hosers in there, and Magic's history is fabled with many of them. Alright, this is going to flip into a Firecat. Feels like 2 mana. Yeah, Fire Cat. Like, oh, okay. I think Hydroblast the Fire Cat. Don't Hydroblast the Fire Cat. Just trade and you get to cast again. Just Hydroblast something else. He because he could recast the Batter Skull this turn even. All right, he's down to 24 cards. He is going to mill him. Like I think he will. Oh, it's funny to see this happen in a 100-card format because this is not the fastest way to win a 100-card game. He's going to cast this thing to block. Oh, so goofy. All right, Grim Lavamancer. Yep. Are you going to counter this one? Okay. Yep, counterspell. Okay. Down to 18. Mutagenic Growth. That's an interesting one in Red Deck wins. It's not a bad card. I guess it is a free shock. Not as good in a white weenie meta. Well, I guess it's not bad. I guess you can trade for a good creature. Alright, Snapcaster, a casting Sphinx's a revelation. Oh, he is going to mill kill him. He's going to kill him with mill. Hopefully he lets him do it. This has to be Sphinx's Rev, right? Yeah, okay, I was going to say, if you're getting anything else, you're silly. Just swing for the fences here. Even if he counters it, who cares? Alright, so he has another 2-mana counter in his hand. Probably negate or mana drain. I don't think we've seen those two out of him yet. Okay, tap land. Oh, just cast 2 spells. Let's see the cool way. Do the cool way of winning this game, which is by just milling them. Alright, he's going to block with Arsonist, plink the Snapcaster off the board. Uh-oh. What we got here? Shock! Well, he can shock this. Alright, he's going to counter this. Yes! Mill! Alright, prohibit. I'm sorry, guys. I do get enjoyment out of watching interesting ways of winning in 100 card, and this is certainly that. I think this game would have ended a lot faster if Jace Telepathy Unbound had just gone to recast and Sphinx's Rev a lot earlier, but I don't think it mattered, really, because Sphere is just like a hard lock unless they have exactly Anarchy and can resolve it, which he could have. That would have been a hilarious upset if he was just like, alright, tap beside you, Anarchy, blow up all your crap. And that was the game. This game obviously went very long, too. Both opponents are in the red on their time. So, pretty cool. Sorry, Bandit. I know it's not pleasant to see blue-white take this long to win, but when it can that way, I suppose. Alright, guys, quick pause until we get round 2 set up, and then we'll be right back. Alright, guys, we're underway. We're playing against the player AEF Fabricio, typically an aggressive player. And we're on the play. Cool. Hands keep. Mystical Tutor can do a lot here. Can either get Terminus. I assume he's aggressive deck. Hopefully he's a white aggressive deck, because I think Mystical Tutor will do a number to help me out in this game. Go ahead and protect myself. Probably look for another white source here. Maybe. Actually, no, I lied. I'm going to put this, and this. Nope. Okay, white. White cards, cool. And nothing. Don't really care if I get wastelanded here. I don't see myself mystical tutoring this turn. I think I want to wait for him to commit more cards to the board. And at some point, if I'm going to mystical tutor for angels, I'm going to need 2 white mana regardless. So let him go ahead and get after me here. Okay. Well, the good news story is this. I'm not going to leave up counter magic here. This actually doesn't draw on my turn, so I can just draw it on his turn. Oh, wow. No, I'm happy with that. Hopefully there's like no Johnny or something like that. That'd be annoying. Hopefully just some more little creatures. Okay. I mean, if that dies, I get free value, right? How many... This has 3 left on it. That's fine. Only issue here is I'm only going to get 2 angels. So I don't know if that's good enough. It's got to be close. Okay. 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 Okie doke. You eat one of them up. I still think I'm going to wait on Mystical Tutor. And this stinks, so his card gets me here. Maybe I should have gone for it last turn. I'm going to miss my draw step here, so I'm going to draw 1 off this, lose the card, and not get my draw step. So I'm going to hang out. I'm going to hang out and block with this angel and try to see if I can get him to commit further to the board. And then resolve the Mystical Tutor on the following turn, I think. And that also means that I can... No, you know what? This is awesome, because I can blow up the board with Terminus, get back the Snapcaster, and then Snapcaster for the Mystical Tutor. This right here... I mean... Am I dead right now? Close enough. Let's just counter this silly thing. Okay. Alright, Terminus. That does nothing. Terminus is not a destroy effect. Armageddon's a huge time beating, but I think I've got to try to push the issue here. Any Planeswalker I can probably deal with the Celestial Colonnade. Armageddon would be huge, though. That would be a big-time beating. Yeah, that's fine. Get an Land. Yep. Okay. Okay. That'll come through. You have Mana Tithe in the deck. Do I play around Mana Tithe here? Okay. Okay. After you attack? Okay. Well, lowly 5. Not a real good pull here. I'm going to Serum Visions first, I think. We're going to bottom this. Top this. Shrink all the creatures down a bit. And hope to recast this Terminus next turn. Okay. Okay. Hit me. Okay. Well, Terminus is my plan, so I'm going to block the highest power creature here. Okay, Mirror Crusader. I don't know why he's casting into this. I guess his life total is fairly high. This is -8 though, right? So I have the... Okay. I think we at least look before we leap here. Engineered Explosives gives us a means to deal with the Ajani and doesn't kill any of our stuff, so I like that, I think, right here. I'll take the 2 pile if you're going to give me Engineered Explosives plus a land. Yep.
Hmm. Okay, I'm great with that. I kind of just want to get the untap here and deal with this Ajani. Play a 3-drop. No, it's a flyer, so, I am actually going to deal with that like this. I just think it makes the most sense because I don't want to have a flyer that can block and allow the Ajani to ultimate here. I think that's more relevant. It's fine. Yep. Okay, so... am I in a rush here? Well, I have to fetch, so... okay. And do I attack? Okay. We're done here. Cool. So, Toxic Deluge in, Virtue's Ruin in, Timely Reinforcements in. I find Disenchant interesting in this matchup, but I don't think necessary. What don't I like? I mean, Dismiss is really slow. It's a really slow card. This is kind of the matchup I was hoping for when I play this deck, though. I'm on the draw this time. Can I cut a land at 40? I don't think that's right. Exclude is kind of an iffy one. I mean, it's such great value, but I probably shouldn't be in the deck. It's kind of hopeful, I think. Force of Will, I think I can cut in this matchup. I don't think they're doing anything intrinsically busted enough that I need to have it. If it's like a combo deck, like the first deck I was playing against, like you want Force of Will because there are some things they can do that just completely obliterate you, and you need to be able to interact below the line. Force Spike on the draw is not bad because it snipes a 2-drop. Doesn't get a 1-drop, though. Wow. I don't know here, guys. What is the last cut? Yeah, probably Condescend. It's a lot of mana for very efficient spells my opponent's casting. Alright, so managed to get there. Early Entreat proved to kind of pull all of my opponent's cards out. Hand's not great, but it's also not horrible. Yeah, I think I have to keep this and kind of hope to draw into some stuff and some things. Okay, well, that's probably just going to get STP'd. Actually, does it? Does it? Yeah, it does. I should have played Tundra there, though. Could get run over with this draw. Tundra, because if I draw a 2-mana counterspell, I'm going to regret that line of play. Alright, Precinct Captain, 1-man, army in a can, which is tough. And go, unfortunately. So, at this point, we're probably at the mercy of drawing a Wrath off the top of our deck, or, getting their next turn's play. Yep, that's going to hit. Oh my goodness, this is a godsend. I'm going to go for the Underground here. I think I would really like to complicate something here just to get deeper in the deck. Moat would also be a good pull. Alright, well, get in there for 3.
I'm going to cycle this Complicate regardless if they cast something or not. That's why I was kind of like, it's good to see. Come on, deck. Miscalc, not exactly what we wanted to see, but play out the Jace, get a Swords at least, and we're pretty deep in the deck, and I can counter something with this Miscalc. And even block a 1/1, which is not bad. So I can't complain too much about that sequence of affairs. Alright. Oops. Don't have Disenchant. Why you wouldn't cast that pre-combat is beyond me, though. Yeah, that play makes no sense. And I couldn't have even blocked. Pretty sloppy play by the opponent here. Alright, I gotta feel pretty good about this position. I'm gonna lose my Jace here, but that's fine. It means I'm taking damage off myself. My opponent's at 2 mana, unless they have, like... Unless they hit their mana and can, like, Oblivion Ring me. I think the smart play is to send all 3 at Jace. Yeah, I actually like that. I haven't liked their previous plays, like with the Honor of the Peer. I think that was bad. I think you just got to go for it if that's what you have, you know. Probably gonna counter anything here just for tempo. Oh yeah, that's for sure getting countered. And I'm gonna get a free scry off of it. Why not? Oh yeah, put on top. That's a great card too. That can get rid of some flyers. Yeah, some days it comes up all Millhouse, right? I didn't really per se like our position, but it has gone from moderate to very good at this point, as long as this Elspeth can stay around. Yeah, I'm going to get this thing and slam. Elspeth being kind of the other flagship win con next to Entreat. I think I win more with Entreat than I do with Elspeth, but she's good too. And now my opponent, if they can't deal with this next turn, like if they don't have land O-Ring, and even if they have that, I have the Engineered Explosives to kind of just come back. Okay, whatever. Card's fine. I may just Engineered Explosives to knock those things out of the way. I mean, that may be folly, though, in case they have a flyer. Yeah, we'd probably wait. I think I opt before I activate this thing. There are not many worlds where I would not want to activate my Elspeth, but that can go to the bottom. Cast this. I mean, I don't mind if I do. It's a good option. If they do nothing relevant, I can just, yeah, no, I'm not attacking. Just gonna hang out, like, ride this Elspeth to victory. If they don't play a must counter, I can Factor Fiction. And if they want to try to beat through an Elspeth, like, that's why this card is just a bomb. Like, Elspeth is just game over against most decks. If you can, like, get it while you're relatively stable, it's generally a good night. This may be a concession here, because Fact is just a beast. Virtue's Ruin. I actually don't want to cast that right now, as much as I think the card's great in this matchup, because I actually have dominance with white weenie creatures right now. Oddly enough. We'll probably take the spell Portent Pile. There probably is a world where I want to keep the Virtue's Ruin, Just in case my opponent somehow lands multiple flyers and I can't deal with them both with engineered explosives. It's not a very highly likely world. And concession. Yeah, good game, man. Alright, guys, quick pause. We'll jump back to some other folks. Alright, guys, we're back. We're watching Sung play against player Bandit Keith here. And it's red-green mid-range versus red aggro or red deck wins. This is red deck wins versus white weenie, I presume. You got a name like Goblin Hero, you're probably playing some red spells, right? And I know what Rob tends to play. It's either Merfolk or... See how Booze is faring with my old list. Booze is doing pretty decent with my old list. Gets to blow up the Spyglass. I mean, it's 2, dude. The Gideon's not dying here. It's going to be your Flyer, which makes sense with the moat, and your Sorcerer Spyglass, which hits Jace. Telepith Unbound, but I believe this kills Jace as well. Yes, it does. So, it loses the Jace option down to 4 cards. 1 card to his opponent. His opponent really can't do much here, can they? I mean... Again with a Jace mill. He loves milling people with Jace. If that Sphinx's Rev had been cast, I feel like he'd be in a better spot right now. I have done this, like I said, but I think it's almost always wrong. That's actually a really good pull. And it's not one you can really counter effectively, right? Unless you could dissipate it. Or you can memory lapse it. Oh, wait. Oh, no, it doesn't happen in the right order. So he has to cast a spell to get rid of it in the graveyard, but then he can still cast it from the graveyard. Is that Sanctum Prelate? Oh, I thought I saw him playing a Sanctum Prelate in his sideboard, or his library, or his graveyard. And I was like, that's awesome. I've tried that card in this format. I just have found the format to have too many diverse decks to want to run at main. Is it good against blue-white miracles? It's not bad. I don't know if it's good, though, either. I mean, 4 is an interesting number to call for it, but then you have Terminus, and all the ones that can get Terminus or Entreat. I just think it's tough. In Legacy Miracles is awesome because, I mean, their deck is just so much more uniform. They don't have, they may have Supreme Verdict to play around it, but they don't tend to have the diversity of cards that you're going to have in 100 card. Okay, well, that's very good. There is a 5/5 Trampler, though, that gives everything +2/+0 if I remember a Wildblood pack as well as I probably should. Obviously, I mean, it can't really break through the defense here right now. It would die, rather, in the attempt, as with the Cackler. But any shock plus an attack from the Wildblood pack could knock out the Xenagos and also clear out the board with the exception of the Elvish Mystic. And there goes the Xenagos. Yeah, Protector is kind of misnamed, huh? It is more of an offensive card. Oh, okay, well, he found some angels, and it's beatdown time. The Griff's Boon still, I guess, provides some defense against it. Journey to Nowhere, alright, just going to start, just kicking these things out. But 8 a turn is no joke. Let's see who else is still on the grind right now. It looks like, okay, now we've got Jackie the Puppet, who is a newer player on Grixis. The reason I know that's because I played with him over the last couple of days, and I'm glad he's joined the event. Appreciate you making it out, man. Or she. I don't really know Jackie's sexual gender, rather. Leela is always on a brew. Always on a brew. Never really see Leela bring the same thing back, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're jank. And I don't say that offensively. I hope, no one takes offense at that. That's good. You gotta experiment, and I admire, his bravery in bringing, some more experimental, quote-unquote, decks, some sweet decks. But he may just be on a spike deck today, I don't know. We certainly are. Playing blue-white miracles. I have been away from this metagame for about a month now. I've been hosting for some of them, not all of them, but not playing as much. And I wanted to play something I enjoy. I love miracles. I think miracles is a fun deck to play, and it's also happens to be pretty good too. The Sparksmith is a big issue, actually. Is the Garrick? Can the Garrick pump? If the Garrick can pump, that may be game. No, she probably just untapped with it. Flint Hoof a boar. I love that card. I love that card. I mean, he takes the damage from that, removes himself from a blocker. Oh, I love it. The Garruk Ultimate. he had to attack last turn and try to use the Sparksmith and blocks to allow the Instigator to get trample damage onto the Garruk, because the Garruk, it does this. Oh, man. Not this one. Let's check out this one. And we're getting in there. Where is this Griff Spoon? It's right there. You could do this on their turn as well, right? It's not at sorcery speed, or is it sorcery speed? Only time you can cast a sorcery. Okay, so it's a little worse than I remember it. Still good, though, and Gideon actually forces anything she equips with it to attack him, which is, so if she wanted to, she'd have to, like, equip this thing. She can't get it, or he cannot get a double pump on it, and also resolve the silly Griff Spoon. So I think we're going to see game over. Oh, this got Elsbeth. Yeah, Elsbeth, pretty solid card right there. Yep, some more millage. I don't understand his compunction to get the emblem every time. Like I said, I feel like he has good control of this game, but this game is not as definitively locked up as the Red Deck Wins deck matchup was. Like that one, like if they don't have Anarchy, they cannot win. Alright, got him. We got some beatdown going Sterling Grove. Alright, is Enchantress? Oh, we got Stone Rained? Stone Rain's aggressive in Grixis Pie. I'm not a fan of it in this format. Like, I think Ponza is kind of bad right now because there's so many white weenie decks running around. Like, when you're Stone Raining after they've already dropped 2 cards, like, you're just like, God, this sucks. Even Sinkhole is not, like... I'm not a huge fan of it. Alright, Enchantress's Presence. Force of Will? Sweet. Alright, so he's not going to get overwhelmed in card advantage here. Leela Paris' position is becoming more and more unenviable with every turn here. Alright, Booze ends up getting this one, but they're going to a game 3, it would appear. Maybe we were the only ones that 2-0'd this round. I don't tend to think of Blue-White as being fast, but since Blue-White's gotten Mystical Tutor, Demonic Tutor, and, it always had, but it also supports that plan with Enlightened and Personal Tutor, the deck has become so much more consistent and rapid in being able to close the game. It's either consistent in rapidly closing the game, or it's consistent in rapidly slowing the game down to its pace so it can draw into its cards and eventually do the same thing. That generally takes longer, i.e. if you're going for Terminus, the Terminus line over the Entreat line. And then the first round, that was just bound to be a slow game. We both had a lot of counter magic. I think we probably had equal numbers of dead cards. I think I was able to board out of a lot of mine, so my deck runs less removal than his deck likely does, like a lower density, because it has the Wraths, and because it has the Tutor package that can flexibly allow me to find Wraths if I need them, or find ways to win, etc., or, ways to enable winning. Which is one thing I kind of like about it, so the dead card package has gone down. The dead card package that is normally in blue-white control has gone down a lot. Whereas non-white versions tend to still have to have quite a bit of it because of Mystical Tutor, so you can just run 2 Wraths and a Moat. And that's generally enough, I think, or 3 Wraths, so you have Terminus. I feel like that's generally enough to win the creature and the green X, creature-based matchups. But also, not pollute the deck with so many cards that are focused on beating that it can't also cycle through its draw to get to relevant stuff against other control decks. Now, against pure mono blue, you're probably screwed. Blue white kind of sucks against mono blue because they have no dead cards against you because all they have is counter spells and bounce and or threats, but mostly just counter spells, which is problematic because unless you can find a way to hit them on mana efficiency like we did in our first round, typically speaking, you're just going to lose because they'll have more counters than you do, and if you're on equal lands, they'll just draw into more, and eventually you'll draw a Wrath of God or Supreme Verdict that's worthless, and it's 4 mana spell, and just be all right, great, I have this card that pitches to Force of Will in my hand, but I can't do anything with it. All right, so definitely attacking the mana base. What is this? Grim Guardian. Okay, it's a drainer. It drains. Could also block the 2/1 Ragavan. Tech Edge here it also puts Jackie the Puppet down a land as well on 2 cards, which is not insignificant, but I assume his Grixis list is probably more efficient than an Enchantress-based list. And this would be the second Stone Rain effect that has occurred here. So loses the Scrubby Scrub land and has... Honestly, he has Tribal Flames for 5 right now, which is funny. So he's a 5-color Enchantress deck. Yeah, Layla's deck is definitely not a spike deck. We called it right that he's on some sort of really, unique brew. And I'm going to jump a little bit now. This is blue-white. Thalia is a big game. As is, so he's Serum Visions for 2. Did he just play... Oh, no, you attack with the Mishra's Factory here. You got to press the advantage right now. Well, you need to, just bury them. I think you tap the Tech Edge after playing it, attack with Mish Factory, do 4. Yeah, and then here's Caracas, which is horrendous. That's pretty savage. Although, he's going to be kind of hard-pressed to play his next land because even though he can bounce the Guardian here, when he plays his next one, the Caracas can be blown up. Alrighty. Well, now I expect we'll see a bounce and then a 2-mana counter spell here. Yep. Mana Drain? No, just a lapse, which means it can be recast. Is that a legend, though? I'm pretty sure that card is a legend. Maybe it's not. It feels like it should be. It's very good. It's very good for a beatdown white deck. Obviously not as much in a taxi deck. Well, Lightning Bolt is a number there. Gets rid of the blocker for the Ragavan. Well, my presumption is we see Golden Lineage blow this up and say, hey, you want to leave up counter magic for Thalia, or do you want to play something? Putting a mana in the pool. The Thalia. Counterspell, I presume. But an Absorb. Both players get to gain a little bit of incremental life here. Absorb's another card I like in this deck because it's a very aggressive meta. 3-mana counters are not good. Don't get me wrong. They're definitely not even remotely... their power level drops off so much comparative to 2-mana counter spells, especially the hard counters in 2. Even the Negates of the world, I think, are better than cards like Absorb. But Absorb, in the meta that we're currently in with, as you can see, White Weenie, we just faced White Weenie, is very good. So you see a Brainstorm get fired off here. Golden Lin will get in his 2 down to 14 on his opponent's side. And then his opponent's probably looking for lands. He's cantripped a couple times now, and I expect he probably can find his mana here. If he does not, and he's Brainstorm locked, that's a bad, bad day. All right, he's got his mana. Do we have a Jace? No, we're just going to hang up counters. I think at this point, I just start slamming with the Factory right here. I really think he could have gotten him down. His opponent should be at 12 right now. But what do I know? I think if you have a 1-drop or a 2-drop and have a land, you just drop one of those 2 things and then start slamming with yeah. I feel like that's just going to get countered. Or if he has a Wrath, he's just going to Wrath over the top of it. If he's countering the threats, this is one thing I don't like. This is a Mystic or a Cryptic Command. The one thing I don't like about how he's playing this is he's countering the creatures as opposed to Wrathing them, which means if I am playing the White Weenie deck, I know he doesn't have a Wrath. And eventually you can exhaust their counter magic this way, because the White Weenie deck plays so many threats that ostensibly, if you're not many for wanting them to kill all of their threats, then you're losing the game, because eventually you'll run out of counter magic before their top deck, given a lighter mana base, will run out of giving them creatures. That's a good one, though. That begs... So that's going to get a Batterskull, and that's tough to beat. That is very, very tough to beat. You basically have the answer or die. Okie doke. Well, that's getting countered as well. Alright, Jackie the Puppet wins the match. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen that card in a long time. Maybe ever, I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't think it's good, but it's actually pretty sweet. So we go for the Angel here. The Angel is fast. You're going to get Swords to Plowshared. You still get in there. I mean, Dust Bowl, meh. It's entirely possible this Batterskull could be beat, but the fact that he has 3 mana available to him to recurse it to hand makes me think it probably cannot be. And Celestial Colonnade is now activatable, if you will. Let's see how these two are getting along. Oh, Pelucranos. Alright, the old Flunkinators. The Poly K. Alright, we're Dust Bowling the lands. Do you have like a way to deal with the old Batterskull? Or Protection Black thing would do. Alright, the old Griffin's Boon. Oh. Yeah, this one ended. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like Surrak or Pelucranos are definitely up there for the best cards in the cube. Well, they're not. Like the best card in the cube is like Linvala, like the new Linvala, the 6-mana one. Yeah, we're gonna give the white decks a good hoser for red deck wins that cost 6 mana. Let me tell you, Watsy, that don't work, man. That is bad. So I even like look at cards like Batterskull is really not that good against red deck wins unless you have the friggin' answer. Unless you have like I'm not the answer, the Stoneforge, because it's just not efficient enough. You just can't get it down quick enough. And even if you do Stoneforge it out and they burn your Stoneforge off, like they wasted the burn of your Stoneforge, buying you like an extra like 1 turn essentially, so that it does become castable. So it's like a bizarre like interaction with the two cards that I find very intriguing. I mean, I guess, like, what do you do here if you're Golden Lin? Float, cast Armageddon, and then resolve. No, that wouldn't work. I don't know. Like, Swords to Plowshares off of an Armageddon. Alright, D-Bowl on, the black mana? Yeah. Makes sense. Flagstone's obvious inclusion in his deck due to probably playing Armageddon. Plus, Dust Bowl it's not bad with. Although, I'm kind of low on Dust Bowl. I don't think it shines as much in this style of white deck. I think it's close. Like, Dust Bowl, I really do think shines better in, like, a Taxi version of it. Because on the Taxi versions of the deck, you often find that you can run more lands. You need to run more lands because your lands do more for your deck. Like, you play, like, weirdo lands. Like, you play the threat lands, but you play, like, a ton of, like, land-based removal. I've even played Tower of the Magistrate to deal specifically with Batterskull. Tower of the Magistrate's hilarious against Batterskull. You're just like, oh, you got your Batterskull down for 5 mana? That's cool, man. I'm going to give your Germ Token protection from the Batterskull, and that just kills it. So, I don't foresee his 3-1 racing a 4-4 lifelinker, though. So he's got to find an answer to this skull, and pretty quick. If he's just blowing up more lands, I think he's just going to get beat by the board. Yeah. I guess if you eventually knock out all the white mana, you could kill the Germ and then, like, hope that his opponent does not find the white mana to recurse it, or couldn't find the 5th land to recurse it. I mean, it's not good, but it is a technique. It may be the best line he's got. I don't know. Certainly not, commenting on his capability to play his deck. He's in a bad spot, right? Oh, goodness. The beat sticks. Old Poly K, the 8/8. I mean, you can block the Bogart. It's too bad, like, Monstrous is, like, a thing that's tracked on the card. Like, if you block the Bogart and Ram Gang with the Plukernos and it would make down to a 5/5, it'd be so much sweeter if you could, like, just re-Monstrous it. You're like, oh, it has no more counters on it. Re-Monstrous it. Alright, blow up the manland, I assume. Alright, Elvish Mystic, some blockers. Well, the good news is none of these things have trample. Yeah, I think it is about that time. Opponent's on 0 cards. Okay, a Rest in Peace. That really does nothing here. Alright, blow up another mana. Alright, can we get there? Or is this gonna be game over? This is the cost of the White Weenie deck. Like, the blue-white, the Esper deck just batters White Weenie. I mean, you saw it in my matchup. Like, it may have looked like... Oh boy! Oh! The skull crack, the salty skull crack. Yeah, she may get through there on these fatbacks. No, I'm tracking. Pelucranos can't re-Monstrous. It's tracked on the card. It's unfortunate, though, because that would be a sweet interaction. I mean, what does he draw to kill you? No card really does it here. No singular card does. Price of Progress, she can get around. I do like her selection of lands. Notice sometimes I'll comment on inane things that have nothing to do with the game. Like, noticing that she's playing Guru lands makes me happy, because I actually like them better than, like, the shiny, like, friggin' full art lands I play. I should play them, but I don't know. I just play the shiny full art ones. Who knows why. Random. Well, yeah, I mean, he's probably obliged to block here unless he wants to go to the state of death. So, probably just block with the axed up 1/1. I mean, you got to block with something. Which means you can only attack back with 2, and she would probably like nothing more than to have her Kitchen Finks die in combat. Now, where does this punish her? If she has Jack and Crap in hand and he draws into or has the 7/1 Blistering Firecat, he could just win outright here. Because the Kitchen Finks goes on the stack. It's not lifelink. Oh, well, that's more life. That's a 2 life to be exact, which is a significant amount here. Yep, killing or eating up the Foundry Street. Red-green should generally have a pretty easy time with red deck wins. The creatures are just so big, and it does have red base removal, which is generally good against their critters. So let's take a look at this. I think most of our players should be done. All right, so Booze won that one. Goblin Hero won that one. That's a kind of a shocking win. I think he's on red deck wins. Did Ironic drop? That's unfortunate. Oh, we got the bye. Yes, I think his deck's very sweet. So I hope he didn't drop. So no finals today, unfortunately. And all right, cool. Slith is a cool card. Very good card. All right. And quick pause, guys, until we get ready to go here. Hey guys, we're back. We may or may not be playing this out. I offer the draw. I tend to when I'm in the finals. This is not the finals, but there's not going to be finals today. So I'm seeing if my opponent wants to take the prize or if they want to just play it out here. If they play it out, I'll roll the prize to next week if I win. If I lose, they get the prize anyways. All right, so we're going draw here, which means 1-1 draw. All right. I play against my own deck, it would seem, with my own deck. If you have Wasteland, go ahead. Be my guest. I like this hand in the mirror. It's not horrible. A lot of mana. Merchant Scroll, pretty nice. Alright, so the blue mirror. Alright, more land. Not per se bad. Do I want to... I think I leave up Drain here. Just in case they have like Search for Azcanta or Jace of Rin's Prodigy. I know Daze is in the deck because I built the deck that they're running. And actually I think this version of it does not run Force of Will either. So, alright, cool. Well, I'm very confident and comfortable playing Draw Go, my opponent. I think this hand is decently well set up. The question becomes, like, what do I want to get with Merchant Scroll? Could be Mystical. If they want to counter this, I'm going to let them. Like, I'm cool with them countering this. Teaching's a very powerful card in this matchup. This sucks down 2 of their cards for 1 of mine. I still have the Drain available. I saw you won with it once. Okay. I also have the threat, actually. So, like, Celestial Colonnade is no joke. Like, it can end the game. I'm not going to, like, fire it up as soon as I can, though. Especially with them on that many cards. And they probably only have, like, 2 answers to it outside of Wasteland at instant speed. But tapping out and doing damage is not what this deck's about. It's about just grinding. And that's what I'm going to try to do here, is just grind the F out of them. The question becomes, do I even try to get the Mystical Teachings off this turn? Well, that's a big one. I'm just going to play this out and say go. I probably do, right? Like, the only thing that really punishes me is Factor Fiction. Because I can't hold up the mana drain on their end step if they go for something. Alright, they're missing their first land drop. Any double counter here is going to probably allow me to get a Jace online. I mean, what do I like here? Probably Enlightened Tutor. Try to resolve this, get a search for his Kanta. I don't need to hammer Jace down on the board. Go ahead and counter it. Don't really care. Just going to build up my graveyard. And they're going to let me do it. Search for his Kanta. Cool. Go to second main. I'd prefer not to resolve this mana drain on my my main step here. Well, do you let it happen? And we will be in the mana pretty soon here. I'm going to slam a Jace. Detention Sphere, cool. This is exactly where we want our opponent to be. Just force them into these bad decisions. Hard decisions. I wouldn't say bad. I mean, that's a very logical course of action. Slamming it. Don't really care if they have Spell Pierce here. Yeah, okay. Discard more land, having land drop in hand already. But I'm way ahead on board, so resolve something relevant. Try to resolve a Planeswalker, that's cool. Bottom, top. Oh no, we're not conceding the game here. Come on, Moto. And you know what? Let's just get our search for his Kanta back. This game is already locked up. Cool. And you may have that back. Oh, it can't be Detention Sphere. Alright, I got a counter out of him for it, though. Huh, I have never read that part of Detention Sphere before. Okay, Demonic Tutor. And a discard, okay. Just going to hang out. That was a pretty big blunder, but, you know, it's funny. I forgot that they fixed this. Like, so this is based off Oblivion Ring, obviously. And Oblivion Ring could cause an infinite loop on MTGO, which this could do with a third detention sphere. So I guess I forgot about this line of text. That's pretty poor play on my part. Force of Will and a bazillion lands. I'll take Force of Will plus the cycling land easily. And I will cycle the cycling land and find a Jace. Cool. Damage should be relevant. Yep. Okay. 7 in hand. No, you can have that. And I have a bazillion cards, despite my blunder with the detention sphere. Now, if they try to O-ring my Jace, cool. It's fine. Yup. Okay. Yep. Karn, Scion of Uza over what? Moat, probably. Disenchant over Wrath of God, probably. Relic of Progenitus over Terminus, yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably the deck at this point. Other than feeling a little silly for trying to detention sphere, which is not a thing you can do, although I have not seen it come up, and it likely has not come up in a long time. I think we played decently well there. I mean, we also got lucky. We had more lands. And if ever someone was advantaged for knowing all of the hidden information available in the deck, it'd probably be in this game, because I built the deck he's running, and it's pretty much an exact copy of an old one that I ran. Yeah, hand's fine. Alright, Ponder. Preordain, cool. Dirtle, dirtle, dirtle. One of the worst draws in the deck. Well, hopefully no search for his Kanta or a Jace. None. Cool. I'm feeling better about that. 2 mana counter? Nope. 0 mana counter. And I have a perfect pitch card. Imagine that. Supreme Verdict doing something good here. Treat the angels in the hand is bad, obviously. Probably just gets an island. I can see a world in which he gets a tundra as well. Okay. Impulse? Yeah, okay. It's possible I want to counter that with Force of Will, but without knowing their hand, I don't think that's viable. If they were on much less cards, I may, but Force of Will is going to have to be something pretty special here. But luckily, like I said, I did draw the worst card in my deck right before that. I did leave one in there. Oh, goodness. Are they missing? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the funny thing about this matchup is you actually don't want more counter spells than you can cast in your opener. You want to find lands. And this opt is going to be looking for land. That's exactly what it'll look for because I want to resolve this Fact or Fiction. Matter of fact, if I get to counter and I draw a land next turn, then it's a very high probability that I'll just resolve Fact or Fiction on my turn. Do we fetch first? No, we don't have to. So if we find Brainstorm, I would still prefer to have opt. I'm going to bottom that. Yep, there we go, land. Cool. Question becomes, do I attempt to resolve a Fact or Fiction on their turn next turn? I would prefer to counter something, obviously. But nah, I'm going to play the attritional game for a while. I really don't want them hitting lands. Miss, come on, miss lands, yes. So now the question becomes, do I want to make them fetch here? You know what? The Supreme Verdict is not getting any better in my hand, so I think I am going to force the issue here. I'm going to find one underground, and just in case they brought in back to basics, I'll find one island. And I'm going to attempt to get this down, and I'll use Force of Will to back it up. If they use a 3-mana counter, it's likely to resolve at that point. And I think it's worth Supreme Verdict plus 1 counterspell. Have another. Okay. Supreme Verdict was so bad. I don't mind getting it countered here. It's just going to build up my graveyard for this, ideally for this Treasure Cruise next turn, which I'm just going to slam. So, counterspell of some sort. Mana Drain. Mana Drain would be pretty rough. No, Memory Lapse? I'll take Force of Will back. Cool with me, man. Nope. I'll go down to resources. Well, we know what's happening here, don't we? You're not finding lands. Alrighty, good games, man. Alright, so quick pause, guys. And back at it. Gonna watch Red Deck wins versus White Weenie here. White Weenie versus Reanimator here. No, and this is my game that's complete. Oh, Animate Dead on the Sierra Avenger. That doesn't really deal with this as that first strike, does it? It would have been hilarious if he had animated Dead like a Knight of the Glory or Knight of Glory. Actually, that's a question that I don't know. Can you animate a card in a graveyard that has protection from black, and then I think you can, and then when it comes into play, it should fall off, right? Oh, Personal Tutor, that's a big game too. So he obviously has another reanimation effect in his 6-card hand here, but he's at 5 life. Alright, Reckless a charge. Well, it doesn't... This doesn't work, because all he does is gives indestructible to the 2-1 on the ground, blocks, doesn't die, doesn't have trample. Then can plink him down to 5, I guess? It plinks to 5. Wow, Moto sounds are pretty intense right now with a bazillion games up. Curse the Pierced Heart actually could go all the way. Like, it's funny, unless, like, Curse the Pierced Heart's a weird card. It's not fast. I don't think it's a good card in, like, 90% of the matchups it's in, but, like, against, like, blue-red, black, like, that can't deal with enchantments. It's a clock. Like, it does actually do work. Like, it puts the ball in their court to have high impact tempo plays, but their deck's not set up to do that. They're set up to try to, like, attrit your hand down, and then eventually in this matchup they're set up to attrit your hand down to, like, negligible cards. Ideally get some card advantage with cards like Exclude, Complicate, Dismiss, and then eventually, like, play their one threat, protect it, and then win with it. So Curse actually could go the distance here. I mean, obviously he's already got the one threat, but I think the likelihood of him having a way to deal with the 2/2, the efficient Iron Claw orcs, is more high than dealing with that enchantment. But so many cards. Ashen Morgouch. I don't even know why you're playing cards at this point. Like, at this point, I think you just leave them in hand and wait for them to do something and then play all this nonsense out. That way you leave Memory Lapse in their hand, which really does nothing. I think you could safely put them on Counter Magic on 7 cards. They're not killing your threat. So you just wait. Just wait. I mean, unless you have another one that you really want to resolve now that wins you the game, like, and they don't. Like, if they're going to let them untap, they don't have, like, a Lightning Strike or something like that. The only reason you do that is if you have, like, the Lightning Strike or the Lightning Bolt or the Incinerate or something. Fresh Seed Revoker gives a blocker. That is a thing, but we know what he's drawing. We know he doesn't have burn, so we shall see. All right, this is on game 2. I assume Ironic 1. I didn't see. Okay, black mana. There's nothing here. It can kill this creature, but he still dies to the curse. Like I said, I think this curse is actually not bad in this matchup. It's a lot worse against, like, my blue-white deck, but, like, if you don't have white to deal with, like, permanents, it could be a problem over time. It's just very slow, so, like, even in this matchup, if he's able to get down, like, a Tassiger or, like, something, he could possibly win through it, but at this point, he's just dead. Unless he can gain life, like, right now, like Ribbons of Night, Black Lotus Ribbons of Night, Disfigure on this thing, into next turn, like, Tassiger plus, like, black mana drop Gurmag Angler, not enough cards in the yard. Yeah, I don't see how it's done. Don't see it. Alright, well, Demonic Tutor, so any card that casts for blue and red can be cast here, yet I still am not hopeful. Okay, we've entombed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here it comes. Now, he's not going to be able to attack with it, which sucks, but he can probably eventually nug out these critters if he has, like a Wrath. But Tiger drawing into... I'm sorry, not Tiger. Gristlebrand, G-Brando, drawn into 7 cards here, probably assures he's going to find duplicate kill spells at a minimum. You force him to tap it out. Yeah, I think Rob's in some trouble here. Like, Gristlebrand coming down early it's a big game. You have, like, a Stifle? That'd be hilarious. I don't think you pass. I think you draw. Yep, I think you draw. Look for the answers. Probably play a black mana out here or a black-blue land. And, yeah, start dealing with the board. You're going to have to 2-for-1 yourself, but it's not like that's a huge cost with Gristlebrand in play. Unless he horrifically missed, which is possible. Gideon's Lawkeeper is an amazing card. So black land, we're correct on that. This card deals with Eldrazi. It deals with Gristlebrand. Like it does so much. It deals with Emrakul, like the most threatening of threats in the game. Like this card can just tap. You're like, yep, tap it. You know, it's not a colored spell. It's a creature. So he discards a bunch of nonsense to include a Perplex, a Necrotic Ooze. Okay. And I assume, well, he really can't get in there. If he turns his Mother of Runes sideways, I think he's crazy. I think he just has to hope his opponent didn't hit crap. Alright, a Knight of Glory. Assume a counterspell here. If he didn't remove anything, or he's just trying to set up a Wrath. I don't know. This play is weird to me. I feel like if you had the Wrath, you just went for it last turn. You don't get greedy with it. You just blow up the board, and if your Gristlebrand stays around, like, you're winning the game. Alright, DT, he probably already has a land in hand. Getting Toxic Deluge. Toxic Deluge for 1. Blow up the board. Get his Gristlebrand tapped in response down to 12. And is looking pretty good on the following turn. Like, the best way that Rob is going to be able to deal with this is going to be like a Path to Exile or... I can't think of the card right now. The 2 mana, the Journey to Nowhere. Okay, he has Virtue's Runes. He takes even less damage. You know, tap his thing. Still not looking great, though. So those things all die. And pretty much answer Gristlebrand. You don't really want to Swords it because he'll just draw in response, gain the 7 back from the 7 he draws, be at 13 cards, which is a pretty good position. Okay, Ironic takes down this matchup. Yeah, I think a lot of folks came packing some hostile decks for White Weenie, which makes sense. Well, Bandit did not, and I feel bad for him because like this is a tough matchup. But like, brother, I love you, but like you can't. If you're gonna bring red to this metagame right now, you got to bring big red. I don't think anything else can really win right now, realistically. So it looks like this may be the end. Okay, Golden Lyn wins the match. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be the end of the tournament. I'm going to do prize distribution now. I think everyone is closed out. Let's re-update this. All right, so 2-1. All right, Rob took it down. Rob lost 2-1, so this is right here. And then I'll wait for Golden Lyn. Oh, what is going on up here? Let's remove that. Oh, how did that get up there? That's like from that's from this round. Really weird. All right, wins 2-0 against Bandit Keith. And let's see where we stand. Alrighty. And that will be that, guys.